New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's Real Late Hot 97. And a legend is back in the booth. He's got a new album called The Diam Piece 2. Diamond D is back.
What's up?
What up,
Pete?
Diamond? How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm glad you're here. I got a chance to recently sit with The Diam Piece 2.
Okay.
First of all, tell us about the album, how long it took you to make, some of the people on it, things of that nature.
It took about 2 years to make, and it's basically just a continuation of the first Diam Piece album. Featured artists Snoop, Fat Joe, Raekwon. I got Twista on there. I got David Banner, Boot Camp Click, Exhibit, Styles P.
Elzai.
It's a dope album.
Yeah, man. It's very, very complete.
David Banner.
How does making music today in 2019, how different is your process now than it was back in 1992?
I think, well, now the process, like, you know, when I do my productions, I'm just it's just a little more, it's a lot more polished. I don't really do the trap thing, so, you know, I just pretty much stay in my lane, but it's the same sound, but it's just updated. That's how I would describe it.
And do you equipment wise, do you use the same stuff?
Oh, nah. Well, now I use sometimes I use Pro Tools, you know, on the grid. I also mess with the machine. Of course, the MPC.
You still mess with the MPC though?
The MPC X.
Okay, the newest
new
one.
Yeah. It's digital and it's audio. I mean analog.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, those are my tools of the trade, and of course the motif. Yeah.
How do you feel? This is a question that I get a lot, but I am curious to ask someone like you who was such a big influence musically in the heyday of the 90s. Do you enjoy where the music is today? Do you think there's a lot of quality stuff out there?
Yeah, it's out there. You know, I like a lot of the new stuff. You know what I mean? You know, hip hop evolves, Pete. You know, I like a lot of the new stuff. Some of it, you know, is just, you know, But you know, there's some good hip hop out there if you look for it.
Who are some of the new guys who you really enjoy? Who's out there that you really would like, you would mess with and even work with?
Of course, you know, I like J. Cole. I like Kendrick. I like Future.
Where do you fall on Drake? Are you a Drake fan?
Yeah, I like Drake. Drake is nice. Yeah, definitely. Nice, you know, nice with the pen. I know he caught some flack, for the ghostwriting thing, but you know, yeah, he's nice. You know, he got his own thing going, and you know, he's one of the biggest artists right now. You know?
Did you get to it? So you were on. For people who don't know, by the way, you may just be coming on this on YouTube and have not heard Diamond D's album. His classic first album, Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop, which at the time was considered, and still is to this day, an underground classic. It was at a time in which DITC was making a lot of noise in New York. You know, Party Groove by Showbiz and AG became a huge club record. And at that time, all of you guys, you know, to me, I've told you this before, but to me, Shawnee Culture, I don't know how you feel, but to me, the sign in 1992, 1993 that like you met someone else who was like super into good hip hop was that they knew about DITC.
You had to know DITC.
But like that was
Bigger
like a
than the
line.
crazy, yeah, that was the standard.
And you would expect,
or you wasn't a real hip hop.
Right. And you would expect that like if someone like if I met someone and I was like, oh, what do you like? And they were like, oh, you know, I like blah 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 Diamond D show. The second I heard that, I was like, oh, you're official.
Right. Because it's bars.
That was the
and music.
cosign.
That was how you knew they knew what time it was. And and then it's so funny because I really didn't start understanding everything you were doing until after your album.
Okay.
And then I look back and I'm like, yo, but you had a verse on Low End Theory.
Correct.
Which was recorded in 90, 91.
It kind of set up my album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this a little bit before, but for people who may be new to it, how did the song how did Show Business come to be on Low End Theory?
I actually went down to Battery Studios to play beats for Tip. And while I was down there, Tip said, hey, you know, you want to jump on this song with the Nubians? You know, later on I found out that Pooh Bah had did a verse, and Jive Records wanted him to change it because, you know, he made a couple of off-color remarks. And Pooh said, nah, I'm not changing it. Take it or leave it. But Jamar X was like, you know, shit, we want to be on this album.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And Tip knew I had a situation. He knew I had an album coming out. And also Tip, he said that the song I'm Not Playing from the Ultimate Force, he was a big fan of that song. And I was the DJ of that group. And I was the co-producer of that song. So
how big a record was
together.
I'm Not Playing by Ultimate Force?
Yeah.
How big was that? Was it pretty big? Did it make noise?
Regionally.
Okay.
Yeah, regionally. You know what I mean? And you know, we were on Strong City Records back then. But yeah, so, you know, Tip, he knew me from that. And I would see him when he came around Jazzy J Studios, and just the right place at the right time.
So
Pete.
essentially, that Show Business is a Tribe Called Quest featuring Brand Nubian song in which you ended up replacing Pooh Bah, basically.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
I mean, by accident, but that's sort of how it
by
ended up
default,
playing out.
Yeah, because he didn't want to do his verse over.
That's so interesting.
But Lord Jamar and X, they were like, well, yo, we want to be on this Tribe album.
And that's such a preview of the future, too, because just a year later, that was Brand Nubian. There
Right.
was no Pooh Bah.
Right. That's
So,
right.
like,
It's
that
crazy.
actually is the first time you hear them.
And when I put them on A Day in the Life,
Yes.
it kind of gave them the fortitude, you know, for lack of better words, to say that, yo, we can do this. Because, you know, evidently there was already a rift brewing between Pooh Bah and the guys, but I knew nothing about that. But Lord Jamar told me being on A Day in the Life kind of gave them the to do it.
Yo, that's so crazy.
And definitely after Punks Jump Up.
then it's over. Oh, and
No.
then you did Punk Jump Up remix, too.
Right. And the album version.
And, you did both. That's right.
Yeah, all three.
There's
The album version is the video version.
And then there's a remix.
The remix.
That's
no
right.
doubt, Pete.
What's your favorite version?
I have to say the video version.
What makes the video version different again?
Well, every version is different, but the video version that's the most popular one. That's the one everyone knows.
The remix has the horn, or is it the video
Remix
version?
does have the horn, but musically is different, and even the album version is different.
You know,
It was a big mess because the version that blew up, it wasn't on the album.
right.
It was only on the single, so
Yeah, and then I forgot about that because then when the album came out and I heard it, I was like,
this ain't it, right?
this isn't quite it.
Yeah.
It's very Diamond, what would you consider to be, you know, if people are watching right now and they're learning on what this real hip hop is, and the Diam Piece 2 is out right now, you can stream that or buy it.
Right.
But what would you say was your biggest production credit? Because I'm too biased and too close to your music. I don't really know.
Right. Well, I mean, me personally, it would be some of the Busta Rhymes joints I did. Mm-hmm. The biggest one being the Busta Bus remix.
Yes.
Sales-wise, the Fugees.
Which record was on the Fugees album?
I did the title track, The Score.
You did the song The Score.
Yeah, you know,
So-
I won a Grammy for that, so, you know, that's kind of up there. But my personal favorite would be either the Busta Bus joint or the Light, Pharaoh Monch.
Woo!
You know, that
Just played that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I did when I did a little top 50 MCs Sunday night show.
Yeah, it's all over the world, Pete.
I did a show though. See, I did a show to follow it up.
Okay.
Where I could play the music, go a little bit deeper instead of it just
Right.
being about a stupid list where you're kind of
Yeah.
just throwing out numbers. You don't
Right.
really. It's not technical, but I was like playing music and the Pharaoh. I played 2 Pharaoh songs.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I played 3. I played Stress Remix, his verse. I played The Life with Styles P because
Right.
they were both on my list, so that
Yeah.
got them both. And then I played The Light,
The Light.
which is such a great
Yeah.
Pharaoh record. It's sort of a different side of Pharaoh because you
Yeah.
think of Pharaoh
I was
always.
surprised he picked that beat.
Yeah, why? Just because it's kind of meandering?
You know, Pharaoh he likes to step outside the box, you know, so to say sometimes. And that was definitely out of the box for him, but I'm glad he picked it.
Yeah, me too. I absolutely love that record. One of my all-time favorite records of yours, and you know what we'll do? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a quick break. We're gonna play a little Best of Diamond D mix, play some classic Diamond D productions and music. We'll come back and talk more with Diamond D. It's real late on Hot 97. So, as you've been hearing, we're playing all this classic Diamond D music, And one of the records that I played that I was obsessed with when it came out was Hiatus Remix.
Yeah. With Crew.
Yes.
Right. They were hot back then.
They were. They were Bronx. They were BX hot.
Right.
Had to deal with Def Jam.
And, we were all on Violator at that time under Chris Lighty. So
how did that come to be were you just always cool with Chris Lighty?
Yeah, Chris was my manager.
From the beginning?
From the beginning.
Got you your deal at Mercury?
I was assigned to PWL Mercury, which later became Chemistry.
Which key Chemistry, that's right.
But my attraction to Chris was watching him work with Tribe Called Quest. And then I approached him. I was a big Tribe Called Quest fan. And, I already had a situation, so it just fell into his lap.
So do you think it's crazy in retrospect? Sometimes I think about how ill it is that now, right now, I think an artist like you existing, if Diamond D, if 1992 had the technology of 2019, financially in the long run, it would have been much better for you guys to exist in this streaming indie world. I think you all would have been able to tour better. I think it would have, the people who wanted to find your music would have found it easier.
Yeah, there was no internet back then.
So, but at the same time, nowadays, someone who made the kind of music you made never would have gotten a major label deal in advance. In 2019, a Diamond D's not having a major be like, how much was your original advance?
My original, but for Stunts Blunts and Hip Hop?
Yeah.
I think that deal was maybe 60,000.
So it's not a huge advance.
No.
So what's the perks of the deal? They tell you, we're going to put your CD out, we're going to get it in storage, and give you $60,000 up front.
Back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think my budget was bigger than that because there was a promotional budget, a marketing budget, but just to record the album, they gave me $60,000.
But you basically didn't need any of that to record the album, did you? Did you need a lot to record, or were you recording all on your own?
No, not really, because I was I was in-house at Jazzy J's studio.
Right.
So, I do Jay a small bag, and we recorded the album maybe in 2 or 3 months.
Did you have to pay? Did you pay people for the features on the first album, or was that just you? I'm going to show you love?
Yes, I did.
You still paid people for the features?
Yes, I did.
So that came out of your budget.
Yes.
You threw Brand Nubians some money.
Brand Nubians, yes. Fat Joe. I was Fat Joe's producer back then.
Right, you were just putting him on, right?
Yeah.
Because Joe was all the voices in the
really,
background.
put him on.
And wasn't he the voices on all the skits and everything in the background?
Joe was. Joe was there for about 80% of recording that album. Yeah,
wow,
definitely.
Did you and Joe always stay in contact?
Yes.
It never.
Yeah, I just spoke to him this morning.
And so
happy birthday, Fat Joe.
That's right. Happy birthday, Fat Joe.
Yeah.
Were you ever surprised at how big he got, or did you always know he could be a big star?
No, well,
Which is even Love Movement? Because some people were down on Love. There are a lot of people who with Tribe, I love every Tribe album.
Right.
But there are a lot of people who for Beats, Rhymes, and Life and Love Movement, they didn't seem to appreciate it the same way. The Dilla mix with Tribe.
Right.
I don't think they necessarily understood it. Right. And on the top of that, Beats, Rhymes, and Life, I have to admit, was very different. It added consequence to most of the album, plus new production.
It was sort of like De La's last album.
Right.
That it was still hot, but it wasn't what I don't think was what everybody was expecting. But same thing with me. A lot of those albums that we made years ago, it wasn't as stringent on the samples as it is now.
Right.
Everything's under a microscope now.
Does that make it a lot harder? Could you make Sally Got a One-Track Mind and put it out today?
But I could. As long
you would just lose a lot of money.
As long as you have a sample budget.
So as long as you have the budget to clear it.
Right.
And then you're going to lose a lot of the money on the publishing too.
Well, yeah, you're going to take a hit. So, it's a give and take. How bad do you want to use the sample? Is it worth 25%? Is it worth 50%? You remember Deja Vu with Peter Guns and Lord
100%.
With Steely Dan.
Yep.
And they wound up taking 100%.
100%. Sean, did you know that? 100%.
But that's because
all the publishing.
When you're on a major label, it's wise to clear the sample before the song comes out. Because this way, the people you're sampling, they might not ask for a high number because they don't know if it's going to flop or hit.
Right.
But if you got a hit on your hands, hey, basically I think I was told that Steely Dan told CBS Sony either give us what we want or just pull the album off the shelves. So
no, and for Lord Shriek and Peter Guns, they're thinking, oh well, basically, let's just make sure we put it out because we want this
Right,
album to be.
It had a buzz.
It's what's selling it's what's going to sell the album.
Exactly.
Now, one thing they need to change on Spotify, I can't speak for Apple or anything else. I only have Spotify.
Okay.
Is that Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop is listed as Diamond and the Psychotic Neurotics.
Correct.
And everything else is listed as Diamond D.
Right.
Is there a way they can just put it all under Diamond D anyway?
I wish, because a lot of people hit me up on social media and they say, hey, D, your music is not on iTunes or Spotify. And I have to tell them it's not under Diamond D. It's under Diamond and the Psychotic Neurotics, because that's the group that it was released under.
Yo, man, I got to tell you, this album right here, September 22nd, 1992.
Crazy.
27 years ago, man. Coming up on 27 years ago. Best Kept Secret out of the gate, incredible.
Right.
Sally
Shout
got
out to rest in peace, Anthony Mason.
Yeah, in the video. Sally Got a One-Track Mind, absolutely incredible. Fuck What You Heard,
Right.
unbelievable. I love
X.
I'm Out of Here. Day in the Life is crazy. They're all amazing. I went for
Check
mine.
1 2.
Check 1 2, phenomenal. Past That Shit, Freestyle, Yo, That's That Shit
That's
is
right,
incredible. View from the Underground, Slept On. It's just got
Skits.
It's got the skits.
Yeah, that's Fat Man Scoop telling jokes on there.
Really?
Before he was Fat Man Scoop.
How did you know him?
I went to high school with him.
Wow.
And we used to bang on the table and rhyme.
Did not know that.
Yeah, Scoop, he used to rhyme.
So do you know his little brother, Young Sav?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time.
You know Sav's been running around for years in hip-hop management, working with Ross and Khaled.
I've been told that.
Yeah, he's done his thing.
Wow, okay.
Wow, I didn't know you knew Fat Man Scoop going all the way back.
Banging on
Oh, yeah, I knew
lunch
Mr.
tables?
Freeman. Go back. Yeah, we went to Cardinal Hayes High School together.
Who else did you know? Is there anyone else in hip-hop that you've known forever just from the Bronx? Obviously, DITC,
Joeski
but-
Love went to high school with me too. This is
Wow.
before Pee Wee Herman. Maybe like a year before Pee Wee Herman dropped.
Wow. How old was he when he dropped that record? Was he super young?
I believe he was just out of high school. This is maybe 88. Pee Wee Herman, right around there.
Pee Wee Herman was a big record.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Isn't it crazy? What a random thing to be a big
I remember
record.
Janet Jackson said that was one of her favorite hip hop songs.
Shawnee, what's your favorite part of that song?
Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah.
The beat.
It's the it's the
And
it's
DJ
it's
like
Get
Cudi.
Busy,
Get
y'all.
Busy, yeah, you know.
It's the Get Busy, y'all.
Right,
It's-
right.
The Get Busy, y'all is one of the best DJ things of all time.
Exactly.
Because you could start that song just over and over
Right.
again. You never want it to.
Right.
Because once the verses start, it's cool.
Yeah.
But you need the Get Busy, y'all into the
Definitely.
beat going.
Definitely.
Wow, Joeski Love. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite producer, Diamond, besides yourself?
Right now, at this moment, I mean, it varies, but Battle Cat.
Oh, really?
Shouts out to DJ Battle Cat.
What is
of
the-
course.
what is the-
Cat? Yo, Cat is the man.
What is it about Battle Cat you enjoy so much?
Huh?
What is it about him that you enjoy so much?
His choice of samplings and just his layering, the way he uses instruments. He's Battle Cat is incredible. It didn't really click for me until I was listening to a few years ago. Snoop had a song called, I think, the Dog Pound All Stars or something like that. And there's a song that Snoop did called Ballin'.
I remember, yeah.
And it features the dramatics. And just the way Battle Cat put that together, it's incredible. And even the new Snoop album, I would say
I gotta sit with that.
Battle Cat is like my favorite producer.
Yeah, it was the Snoop stuff of about 10, 12 years ago that made me start being like, oh, hold on one second. And the Battle Cat is super special.
Right.
Did you ever sit or work or have any exchanges with Kanye?
Yeah, well, me and Kanye, we met a few times, took a couple of flicks, but I never did any work with him. No.
Did you guys ever talk music?
Yeah. I went to like 2 of his shows and went backstage and we chopped it up with him. Yeah.
Do you enjoy him as a producer as well?
Say again?
Do you enjoy him as a producer when he is actually making beats?
Yes.
I guess the question now is when you don't really know exactly what Ye is doing on records. It's harder to tell.
I mean, College Graduate, that was a dope album.
College Dropout. Yeah.
Right, my bad. That last Nas album, I don't know.
What about?
I was like, nah, this. Nah,
Well, it's like there were good ideas on it. It was like incomplete. It's like there wasn't like Cop Shot the Kid could have been crazy,
right?
But it came up just short for me.
Well, no, that was the hottest one,
and it was that was the best one,
right?
But for me, there was something that they should have taken the vocals out during the verses. There were like a couple of little things, tweaks that I thought could have made it, for some reason better. But to me, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is one of the best produced albums.
Yeah, is that with Good Morning?
No, Good Morning's Graduation, which is also basically.
But yeah, that album talking about Notch did something on there.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Notch too, another producer.
Notch is great. Notch is an underrated, phenomenal producer. Yo, listen, his name is Diamond D. If you want to listen to his first classic album, Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop, it's under Diamond and the Psychotic Neurotics, or you can just look up Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop. His new album, The Diam Piece 2, is available everywhere you can stream music. Whenever you drop projects, you know the door is open. You just got to come through.
No doubt, Pete. Thanks for having me up here, man.
Anytime, man. Diamond D. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. All right.